Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Group Together weekly webinar series featuring MAPS coach Richard Schulman, the lead gen and conversion expert. My name is Paige, and I want to thank you all for being on this webinar with us today. So each week, we will be having a webinar featuring one of our MAPS coaches. These webinars are being recorded, and today we will be sending out the recording within 24 hours of this live webinar. So please feel free to share this recording with your colleagues. Any questions can be sent to fasttrack@kw.com. And that's all for me, Richard. You can take it away.
Hey, thanks, Paige. Appreciate it. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I always really appreciate when people take time out of their day to listen to what I have to say. And I do love the opportunity that MAPS gives me to teach and train. I've had a great experience at KW, and I'd love to give back through coaching and training. So this is Marathon Lead Generation and Conversion. It's a 5-week class that I teach. I've taught it live as well as over the webinars. What we're going to do today is just go over a half-an-hour demonstration of the class. My goal is to give you guys some real value as well as show you what we do within the class. So let's go. We do have a question box. I may have a minute or two for questions. If not, you can find me on Facebook, and I'm really happy to answer questions there, or by email. I'll put all my information up in a little bit too. But so try to hold the questions. If not, we'll try to get to them. We will get to any questions you send in by the end of the day. All right, so here's a little bit of background on me, just so you know who's talking, if you're not familiar with me already. August will be 11 years, so unfortunately my cap resets in about a month, so I've got to start paying my cap money again. But 11 years at KW. I love training. I definitely go to the most training of anyone on my team or in my office. And for a long time, for probably my first 5 or 6 years here, I really didn't do any training. I thought I didn't need all the training, and that was a big mistake. So part of my journey is, you know, really the start was a long time ago. My team leader gave me a free ticket to family reunion. He had an extra one, and it was in Anaheim, where it is next year, which is, you know, 40 minutes from my house. So I went, and that kind of got me started on the road of training. So I go to Mega Camp. I go to Austin a couple times a year for mastermind events and other events at Mega Camp. We had the masterminds here in LA last month. I have a MAPS coach. Most of my team members have coaches or training of some kind that they're taking. So we're really heavy into training, and I really think the best way to improve your results is through focused training. So I'll show you that here. We've sold 1,100 homes for about $600 million in the 13 years I've been in real estate. But if you look at when we've been really heaviest on training and building our team to the model of Keller Williams, we've done about 250 million of those sales in the last 2.5 years. So nearly half of that volume's come in, you know, about a quarter of the time. Right now we have about 17 people on the team, and we are looking to grow in a responsible way. We're looking for the right people. So a little bit more about me, and I'll tell you why it's important. On top of running the team and doing the call, I am a MAPS coach. I invest in a couple market centers. I own rental properties. I have a construction business, and I have about 125 people in my profit share. Now, the reason I share all of that with you is I want you guys to understand that whether it's for real estate sales or any other affiliated business that you want to be involved in, and real estate sales is an incredible business to be in, to give you opportunities to get into other things, such as market center ownership, such as rental properties, which I think are just the best thing possible to own. All of that starts with lead generation and conversion. So if you go back, buying rental properties, if you want to find properties, I'm calling agents, I'm calling people, I'm mailing to people, I'm trying to generate and convert leads to buy properties. To own market centers, no one's going to call you and tell you they have a market center for sale. You've got to call those people and find those deals and find that opportunity. Same thing with profit share. You know, if you want to be purposeful about recruiting for profit share, you have to get out there, generate and convert leads in a systematic and purposeful way. And what we'll do is show you how to do all that. Now, while I say it all starts with lead generation and conversion, what you have to also really remember, equally important, is it all stops without lead generation and conversion, right? So the minute I stop pushing, the minute I stop generating leads and converting leads, the business goes away real quickly, right? Those opportunities dry up because someone else is out there generating and converting those leads. So this class is really about the foundation of real estate. And part of the origin of this is we looked at our team a little while back, and we really started seeing, like, these guys know how to go on an appointment. They know how to show property. They know how to write an offer. Of course, we can always improve in all facets. Where was the biggest area we could improve in? What was the thing that we wanted to do to improve in that would give us the best results, right? What was our lever? So we realized that our agents needed the most focus on getting more people in the car with them, getting more people in front of them, right? If I could keep them busy with appointments all day long, we would make plenty of sales, but we had to be more aggressive, purposeful, focused, systematic, etc., about getting in front of people. So we started being really aggressive about tracking numbers. We started being really aggressive about making small refinements to numbers. I was in the Gary Keller Mastermind group today on Facebook, and someone asked a question about return on investment, and one of the agents there gave an answer about his return of investment to the hundredth of a decimal. So he said something he was investing in produced a 5.06x return. That's number tracking, and that's something you can monitor to see how it changes over time. So we're looking at trying to monitor what we're doing and then give big changes over time by doing small changes incrementally. Now, that may sound a little boring to you. It is a little boring, but the boring things are going to get you paid, right? The boring things will keep you in this business at a high level. So here's a challenge for you guys. I really want you to do this because I know that if you do it, I can show you value. I know that most of us don't track our numbers, even if we say that we do. So what I'd love for you to do is sit down and make phone calls for an hour, and in a minute, I'll give you a couple tips on how to improve that output. My research, my experience shows that people should be able to make a minimum of 25 purposeful outbound dials per hour, and on average about 1.5 appointments per hour. If you're not hitting that in 60 minutes flat, you're cheating yourself. I can show you how to do that. I can actually show you how to do better than that with an Autodialer, and by doing that, you're going to increase the output of your business. Now remember that Gary Keller says that we need to make 11 appointments a week to hit our goals. Whether we're Gary or Richard or whoever else you are, everyone has a goal, and you need to have at least 11 face-to-face appointments per week. So you need to be on the phone making these dials every day in a purposeful manner. So track your calls, make a mark on a piece of paper with every dial, make a mark with every appointment, and see where you end up at. We find that most people usually average out around 12 to 15 calls outbound per hour without any training. And that through training and focus, we can get them up to 25 plus. Now, we also have people on the Autodialer, and they're making 45 to 65 outbound dials an hour. And that's we have an entire 1 hour of the 5-hour webinar series is on how to use an Autodialer at a high level. So that's something that we're very excited about. It's something that's basically allowing us to double our outbound call numbers without costing us any more as far as time or any more lead flow that we have to create, right? So in the next 30 minutes, I want to give you some actionable items. I want to hopefully encourage you to sign up for this class, Marathon Lead Generation 5. I will have some bonuses for sign up at the end, so stay tuned through the whole thing. We're going to have a few bonuses for people who sign up today. But in order for you to sign up, it's really important that I show you value, right? So I want to show you what the investment's for. So I'm going to give you some actionable items. So there was the challenge. We started with the challenge. Here's what we're going to do, how we're going to learn how to make 25 calls in 1 hour, right? Like I said, boring, not super exciting, but this is what's going to get you paid. This is going to get you in front of people. And once you habituate it, it's going to be easy street for you, right? So if you read The One Thing, which you definitely should, The One Thing talks about building habits. And we are really big on building habits on my team for our personal lives, for our work lives. For any aspect of our life we want to improve, we go to habit building. Once you build the habit of making your phone calls in a purposeful way, you can stop thinking about it. It becomes automatic, like putting on your shoes in the morning, right? So I'm habitual at making my outbound dials every day. It's not something I have to think about. I just do it. So if we can train you how to do it, get you focused on doing it, it's going to become automatic. So a big thing is getting yourself ready to call, right? This is a very overlooked aspect of making calls, is that if you have distractions, whether it's a lot of stuff on your desk, people wanting to talk to you, whatever it is, you're not going to perform as well as you need to. For example, right now I'm in my office. I'm at my standing desk. My desk is clear except for a couple drinks to keep me hydrated while I'm screaming into the phone. My shades are closed. My door is locked, right? I'm not on Facebook. I'm not texting. I'm 100% focused on this call for 30 minutes, right? And so you guys need to be 100% focused on your outbound dials for the time that you're doing it, right? So the next key is to really not pause during the calls, right? One big challenge people have is that they tend to stop, whether it's for, something else pops up, an email pops up they want to deal with, someone comes to their desk, whatever it is. The real key is you have to continue to dial. If you guys hop on an Autodialer, and I'm a big fan of Autodialers, we're going to have a lot of training about that because I think it solves a lot of problems for people, and it's relatively inexpensive. If you can not stop dialing, you're going to get a lot more calls out. The way the Autodialer works is that it just continues to dial, and it even leaves the voicemail for you. So as soon as the voicemail is dropped, while the voicemail is being dropped, it continues to dial for you, and you can get easily 45 to 65 outbound dials per hour, right? So we'll train you how to do that. So try that after the call sometime today. Try that. And I want to talk about another aspect to think about when you're doing this, right? Some people don't get excited enough about that. I want you to think about why we're making phone calls. So we do some business planning and goal setting within the class, and what people don't see is that when they are not making their phone calls, they're cheating themselves, right? So in real estate, we have the luxury of not really having a direct supervisor, right? Unless you're on a team and you're reporting to your sales manager or team lead, no one's tracking your numbers. No one's telling you, hey, you have to do more, right? If any of you have had a real job, which I've never had a real job, and you've had to be at office at a certain time, you know that there's no, well, I showed up 5 minutes late every day and keep my job, right? So in real estate, we tend not to think of our job like that. We tend to think of our job as something, whatever hours we want to do. What I want you guys to think about is that we're cheating ourselves if we're not making those dials, right? I want to give you purpose and goals with the phone calls because a lot of people have what we call reluctance. Surprising number of real estate agents will tell me they don't like making calls or they don't want to make the calls or they're nervous about making the calls. And we're going to work on mindset techniques to go past that. So the next actionable item I'm going to give you is ways to think around that, ways to get excited about making calls, right? No one likes making calls, right? No one's excited to call people and say, hey, do you want to buy a house and get hung up on and yelled at, whatever. But there's an enormous financial reward for you at the end of the day if you do an incredible job of making calls and then deliver incredible value to your clients on the back end, right? So if you're showing up to work and you're not making 50 outbound dials a day, then you're cheating yourself. You're costing yourself money. And I guarantee unless you're manually tracking each dial, you're not making those dials, right? So here's the math. I'm confident that I can show you on average 10 more calls an hour, 2 hours a day is the minimum standard for our company, 5 times a week, 50 weeks a year. By my math, that's 5,000 more calls a year, and 5,000 more calls a year will get you paid more money. That will get you more commissions. That will get you more escrows. Now, some of you have asked in the past is how do I find those numbers to call, and we're going to cover that in at least 2 of the classes. We're going to work on specific strategies to find more people to call, and then all the classes work on how do you find people to call and how do you generate them into leads, right? So when we say generation and conversion, let me define that for you. Generating a lead is finding a phone number and a contact and a person to call, or email, or a text, or Facebook message. And converting them is turning them into an appointment. So we work on both, and it's really the same process, right? It's really I'm going to meet you, I'm going to get you excited about real estate, excited about working with me, and convert you to a meeting where I can get you to sign a contract with me. So how do we get better on the phone? So another actionable item is I love the standing desk. I have a $300 standing desk I saw from a Facebook ad. I'm standing right now. I hope you can hear the energy and excitement in my voice. I'm excited to be on the call. I'm excited that MAPS gives me this opportunity to reach all of you across the country. I have a mirror in my office. That's a great tip. If you go to the local, CVS or Rite Aid, they'll sell you a little table mirror, and you can watch yourself smile and dial. It's called Smile and Dial for a reason. Before you make your calls, make sure you have some energy, get pumped up, bring that energy over the phone to your clients. I guarantee you, if you bring more energy over the phone, you will convert more appointments, right? If you sound sad or frustrated or unhappy or anything like that, people will not want to meet with you. All right, and so why are we doing it? What are the things why? The simple reason why is the business planning aspect, right? What I want to help show you in the class is that we can convert your small daily activity to an end-of-year goal. So we have an end-of-year goal. Our end-of-year goal is a certain number of dollars in sales, and we also have to have a purpose for that. What are we going to do with that money? It can't just be money to make money. It has to be money to do something. College fund, vacation, house, car, whatever it is. We need to have real purpose with what we're doing, because that will help us pick up the phone so we understand that 50 dials today will help me get to my end of year sales goals, right? These are all really basic things. I'm going to give you an exact framework and system of how to implement them into your daily business, along with a lot of other stuff too, and that will help you generate great habits to get you making more outbound dials and converting more appointments, all right? That's the class. It's going to take you from meeting someone all the way to the appointment. So let's talk about one last thing on calls, is what's a good goal for a call. So if you're having extreme difficulty connecting, my end of year goal, it's June, I want to go on vacation. If I hit my sales goals, I'm going on a holiday vacation end of the year, but it's really hard for me to connect that, right? What's the goal per call? So here we go. I created a metric for thinking of calls in terms of dollars. And write this down. This is one of my favorite. I figured this out a long time ago. It's really helped me. For many years, I have a sign in my office. I look at it and it tells me each call is worth $100 to me. And there's not a scientific method for that, by the way. We used to walk people through an exercise on it, and then we just said, well, that's the number. So if you're making good, purposeful calls, each call is worth $100 to you. So if you feel like you don't want to hit your 50 outbound dials, you feel like 46 is enough, well, you're probably costing yourself $400, right? So if you think of each call being worth $100, I guarantee it will get you over that call reluctance, get you to hit your goals. All right, so the first two classes are going to be on generating leads, going to be on habits, purpose, goals, a lot of what I've talked about already. The second class of the 5 is going to be on systems, right? If I meet someone today, how and when do I follow up with them? What's the process for following up with a lead purposefully, effectively, to convert to an appointment, right? So I'll give you all the systems that I use on my team. The third call is going to be on scripting for buyers, fourth call scripting for sellers, and the fifth call is going to be on using autodialers, right? So we have a really nice autodialer training. We're going to show you how we use it to the highest level on our team. Now with scripting, I'm going to give you the scripts. I know that's a question. We're going to give you scripts. If you sign up today, we'll give you the script cards that we all have at our desk here on the Schulman team. But what I want to do is not just teach you the scripts, because the scripts are out there. I want to teach you how to think critically about the scripts that we're using, right? A lot of the scripts that we're using, we don't know why we're using them, and when we modify them, we mess them up. So something we've been working on is, you've probably heard ask for an appointment, right, or ask for the sale. What I want you guys to do is erase that from your memory. I want you to think of how to tell people that we're going to have a sale, and tell people that we're going to meet with them or have an appointment or have a showing or whatever the action is, right? So for the buyer, here's the simple buyer script, right? We're telling, not asking. So you get a buyer call, and don't worry for now too much about, well, is this, is this an open house or a sphere? It doesn't really matter. The idea is the core of this statement is what we want to focus on, right? So the buyer calls, and I say, well, hey, thanks for calling. Let me tell you how the process works. First, I want you to speak to my lender and get pre-approved, and then I'll sit down and meet with you to go over the home buying process, and then we can start touring homes. And there's a lot of really important elements in a simple sentence, right? The most important thing is we're dictating the course of action, right? Too often we're order takers, and we allow the buyers to dictate to us. The buyers tell us, we want to see homes. We don't want to meet with you. We don't want to get pre-approved. We want to tour homes, right? If we take control of the conversation, and I'll show you how to do that through questioning, then we're going to tell them, okay, first we're going to talk to the lender, then we're going to get pre-approved, then we'll have a buyer meeting, and then we can tour homes. By conditioning them to follow your directions, you're going to have a better outcome and a better chance of success. Now, a simple way to think about this is to think about, okay, well, does your doctor, lawyer, accountant, any professional that you're hiring, do they ever say, well, what do you think we should do next? Right? Or, they ask for your advice or listen to your direction? No, of course not. You go and pay them a lot of money, and you listen to what they have to tell you. So by doing this, we're conditioning them to listen to us. We're also telling them the process, that we are not going to do a certain thing until something else is done. And by being firm about this, you're going to have 100% better results from people, right? You will have fewer buyers going on tour without approvals, without signed buyer agreements, right? Okay. And we'll have a minute or two for questions. So if we should have a minute or two. If you want to pop in the box, if not, leave your contact info and we'll get back to you. Now for sellers, the same thing, right? I have a lot of sellers call me and they want me to value their home over the phone, or they want to know what my commission rate is over the phone, or they want to know what my marketing plan is. Let me give you a little tip. Phone calls are not appointments, right? The point of me jumping on a phone call with you is not to give you an appointment. It's to make an appointment, right? You have a lot of questions about real estate? Great. The best thing for me to do is to come to your house and give you a personalized evaluation. Is Tuesday or Wednesday better? Now, there's two important things here. First of all, there's a statement, right? A statement doesn't give your brain sort of the implied command to give a response. If I'm just telling you something, your brain sort of absorbs it and almost understands it, right? Now, the really important thing here is that I'm following that statement up with a question. So I don't even give your brain the opportunity to determine what you think of my statement. You sort of just implicitly agree with it. And then you can determine if Tuesday or Wednesday is better, right? The question here is not, should I come to your home? The question is, which day are we meeting? And that's a lot more powerful because I don't want to debate with you or haggle with you or objection handle with you over whether or not we're meeting. I want to do that with you about when we're meeting. And that's going to close for an appointment a lot higher percentage of the time than asking if they want a meeting, right? If I say, Mr. Sellers, do you mind if I come over and look at your home? The answer is yes or no. And too often the answer is not going to be favorable. If I say we're definitely going to meet because that's the process, is Tuesday or Wednesday better, it's more likely that they're going to want to fuss with you about the day or time of meeting versus the actual purpose of meeting. So we're going to go through 2 hours of this, 1 hour on buyer, 1 hour of seller. We're going to really break down how we ask these questions and set these appointments. And by doing this at a much higher level, we're going to increase your conversion rate, right? If you're not making 2 to 3 appointments a day, every day, you're doing something incorrect you need to improve, right? We're in the face-to-face appointment business. If we ever leave the face-to-face appointment business and we do appointments over the phone, or we cheat the process of meeting with a buyer or seller first and getting a signed agreement, then we can be replaced, right? If you don't think Zillow is trying to figure out how to replace you, you're wrong. And here's a script for showing, right? So we work a lot on these types of scripts, not because this is a complicated script, because if you execute this script correctly, it's going to set an appointment at a higher percentage chance, right? So you have someone, they want to see one property. Maybe they want to see just your listing. You say, listen, we'll take a look at that house, and then I'll show you a few more right afterwards. What time is best, right? So right there you guys can see, okay, well, the agent's telling me he's going to show me a few more houses, and that's probably something I want anyways. He just wants to know what time we're going to meet at, right? If I said that, I'm converting this to appointment at a much higher rate than, would you like to see some more homes afterwards? That might give me a better chance to have a buyer meeting, to have a more personal or important interaction with the client, and then ultimately convert that to a signed client to a closing. So let me walk you through the class real quick. I mentioned a couple of things already. I'll walk you through the class because I want you to understand what you're getting here. Now, the investment in the class is $149. It's one of the least expensive calls that MAPS offers. And the reason we do that is because we think it's a really important class for everyone. We like to make it accessible to everyone. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to increasing your outbound call volume, right? We want to make it huge. When people aren't tracking their numbers, we know they're making a lot fewer calls than they really are. So we're going to work on really improving and increasing your outbound call volume. Then we're going to improve your conversion rate, right? These things are equally important because if you're increasing call volume but not increasing conversion, you're not doing the whole thing. We're going to work on building habits. There's going to be a good amount of homework that you can take with you after the class because there's a lot of things that we're going to give you that are actionable. Everything in the class is going to give you a written outline of how you can do it, right? So you can listen to the webinar, it's recorded, and then you can learn it again at a separate time and follow up with it. We also have a Facebook group that you're invited to where we continue to talk about these same topics at a high level. We're going to stop wasting our time with screwing up on poor lead generation or losing leads on inadequate follow-up. That's a real big one for people. And everything we do is modeling after what I do and my team. And we're a $100 million a year team, hopefully a bit more than that this year. And everything I do is stuff I've just been learning from other agents. There's nothing that I'm particularly amazing at that I haven't learned from a lot of other people within the company. I've just sort of synthesized it into a simple course. So if you sign up now for the class, we're going to give you a PDF of our script card. It's a 2-page script card that we print out and have on our desk. It's a prompt for questions. So when you have a question or you're stuck on a call, it's going to give you lots of questions to ask. So we'll email you that if you sign up now. And here's the info on the call. It's going to start Friday, July 21st, so in exactly a month. It's 5 one-hour calls. All the calls are recorded, and you can play them back. So if you can't make the time, it's not a problem. You can play them back. I answer every question that's asked to me on Facebook or by email. So if you have a question, you're always welcome to contact me because I am sincere in my desire to help you grow as an agent. Also, if you want to watch them or rewatch them, they're available for that as well. And there's the web link at the bottom, marathonconversion.com, or the KWRI events link as well. And then what we're going to do is for the first 7 people who sign up, we're going to do a free 10-minute coaching call direct with me. And we'll email and contact those people today. So that's the class. I really appreciate you guys coming out. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is schulmanrd@gmail.com. So schulmanrd@gmail.com. And I'm on Facebook, just Richard Schulman. You can find me, not a problem. So one of the questions about handouts, yeah, everything that we talk about in the class, there's a handout every week. And we also post everything in the Facebook group so that you can see all of it, all of the material we produce as well. And I'll get to one question that Ted asked. We do commercial and investment sales. And what I want you guys to understand about that is the scripting doesn't change. The scripting, we're teaching you scripting that works across disciplines. Whatever type of sale it is, even non-real estate sales, it works across everything. So anyways, hey, thanks guys for your time. I hope you have a great Wednesday. Please do the call challenge. Let me know how you do, and let me know how I can help you grow your business. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Have a great one, everyone.